Hi everybody, Ottawa guy here. This is lesson 7. This is the lesson 7 that's going to build on lesson 6 that's built on the previous lessons before that. And what this is this is the Ottawa guy project showing you how to take the out-of-the-box EV3RSTORM and add different kind of functions and features to it so that you can enhance the out-of-the-box robot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run the demo of what's in lesson 7, and then I'm going to go and jump back in and show you how to program it. So let's just start the video right now, and I'll see you in about 5.5 minutes. Hi everybody, Ottawa guy here. This lesson 7, is going to build on the previous 6 lessons that we've been working on to increase the functionality of the EV3RSTORM out of the box build. And if you've been following the lessons, I've been showing you how to add functionality to the base robot so that it can do different kinds of things. What we've been doing is we've been showing you how to control the volume with the beacon or the infrared remote. I've been showing you how to record sound files, create variables, etc. What I'm going to do in this lesson is I've added another feature to the robot. And what that is it will wait until you push on the touch sensor anytime during the program when it's running, and it'll give instructions, because now we're getting, kind of a complicated build where we're using 3 different channels on the remote to do 3 different things. So I'm just going to start up the program and kind of show you what this one does and kind of walk you through it, and then at the end of the demo I'll show you how to program this. So I'm just going to start up the program and show you how it works. Now the volume is going to be set right off the bat when I start running it, so that we can hear everything he says. So I'll kind of walk you through that. Okay.
Welcome to EV3RSTORM. At any time, push the touch sensor for instructions.
So what that said there was, when it starts up, it basically says welcome to EV3RSTORM, and it says at any time push the touch sensor for instructions. So I'm going to actually do that. The first thing I'm going to do is show you how that works. So I'll just push on the touch sensor and it will give some instructions.
Channel 1 on the remote controls movement. Channel 2 on the remote controls shooting. Channel 3 on the remote controls the volume.
So basically what that said is channel 1 on the remote controls movement, channel 2 controls the shooting, and on channel 3 you can control the volume. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to channel 3, so I'll try and show you the beacon here, or the beacon. I've explained that before. It's actually in beacon mode is when you push on that button, and there's a continuous signal sent so that the robot can kind of track this. That's different programs. We're going to do that at some point later in a future lesson. So I'm going to turn that off, and right now I'm in channel 1. So if you see in channel 1, that's how you control the movement. So to go forward, push the 2 forward ones, and he moves kind of forward. I got to be careful. I'm on a small platform here. Backward, all the way back, come forward, face the camera, go back, back, okay? Come forward a little bit. So you can see you can go left, right, forward, back, etc. Go a little bit forward, back, try and line them back up with the camera, okay? So basically that's how you control movement. That's out of the natural build, that's out of the box. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move to channel 3 by pulling down on the red button to the 3rd channel, and that's going to let me control the volume. Okay, so I'm going to turn the volume all the way up. If you remember in the previous lesson, the default was 50, so it started at 50 and I hit it 5 times, so now it's at the maximum, which is 100. And now you'll see I can go down volume, go back up volume. Okay, so now it's at the maximum. Back to channel 2. That's how you control the shooting.
Shooting up.
He says shooting up, and he shoots up.
Shooting up.
Shoots up. I didn't put balls in here because I'm sick of chasing these balls all over the place. But obviously when you're running it, you're going to want to load it up with the balls. And if you push the down left button, it'll shoot down.
Shooting down.
Okay, so that's how kind of that works. Now, just for fun, I'm going to push on the if you forget the instructions or you want to get the thing to talk to you, just push on the touch sensor again.
Channel 1 on the remote controls movement. Channel 2 on the remote control shooting. Channel 3 on the remote control is the volume.
Okay, so you can put in your own kind of instructions. You can also kind of try and find a robot synthesizer or make your voice sound a little bit more like a robot. I'm just, just made a standard recording there so you can kind of understand what it's saying. But like I said, you can find online some synthesizers. Maybe on your phone you can say something into it and it'll record it as a robot sound, and then that's how you can record your sounds. Again, I'm just going to show you back on the so channel 1 is to move. Okay, channel 2 is to shoot.
Shooting up. Shooting up.
Okay, channel 3, set the volume, and push on the touch sensor to make it give you the instructions.
Channel 1 on the remote control movement. Channel 2 on the remote control shooting. Channel 3 on the remote control is the volume.
The one thing I didn't show is actually while it's talking, you can actually move around. So now if I go back to channel 1 and I push the sensor,
Channel 1 on the remote control movement.
see, it can still move around while it's talking.
Remote control shooting. Channel 3 on the remote control is the volume. Shooting up.
Okay,
Shooting up.
there you go. So you can actually control it in the different channels while it's talking. Okay, that's it for the demo, and now we're going to show you how to program this. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was the demo. I'm just going to close that. And I've already got the project open. As you can see, it's EV3RSTORM. And I'm going to walk you through how to program that now. So if you, I should probably call myself the guy, because at the beginning of my videos I say a lot. And I'm saying and a lot. That's because those are what they call filler words. And as I'm giving you guys the demo, I'm kind of thinking a lot about what to say, because I don't want to shoot these videos multiple times. It's a waste of my time and of your time. So I just kind of try and shoot it once, and kind of get better over time. So let me just show you how to do that program. Basically, what you saw in the demo is that it's going to have 4 continuous loops now. As you saw before, the loops were the IR control, which is the out-of-the-box movement. That's how you control the movement of the robot on channel 1. Then on there's a set sound remote block that reads channel 3 and allows you to set the volume by pushing up and down on channel 3. Sorry. And then channel 2 is the one that controls the shooting. Now, because we have to add another play block in here, another program, what I want to do is I kind of want to clean things up. And I've shown you in the past how to create a block. And I'm just going to kind of quickly go through that again, because what I want to do is I want to take this switch right here that's controlling the shooting, and I actually want to turn that into a block so that this program here, this loop, will look a lot like this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire area that's the loop here that contains a switch, and I'm going to hit Control C, which is going to copy this entire block into the clipboard. Okay, now what I want to do is to create a block. I'm just going to go and I'm going to create a new program. Okay, and I'm going to paste into this the code that I just copied from the IR with Shoot program. That's this entire loop for the shooting, and I'm going to show you how to create a block. This is just kind of a temporary process, so there's no need to connect it to the play block. As a matter of fact, you aren't allowed to have a play block within a My Block. So what you do is you want to make sure this is still selected, then go up to Tools, click on where is it here? My Block Builder. And what the program is going to do is it's going to take anything that's selected and create a block out of it. So I'm going to call this block the, let's just call it the, what do we want to call this? This is going to be the shoot block, okay? So that's the shoot block. Give a quick description, controls, shooting on channel 2, okay? And again, you can pick yourself an icon. I'm going to pick the infrared remotes icon, and I'm going to click on Finish. Now what happened is it's turned that into a block, okay? So if I go back to my properties over here, the project properties, and go to My Blocks, you'll see that the chute block has now been added. So that's excellent. So what we can do now is see how this program here, I've just clicked on program. This is really nothing that I really need anymore. So I'm just going to close that, and I'm actually going to clean a couple things up. When you go back to the project properties, you can go to programs, and you can see that the program here that I just kind of temporarily created is still there. So I'm just going to delete that. Okay, delete that to get rid of it. And actually, we don't really need the EV3RSTORM 5 program anymore, so I'm just going to delete that one too. And as I've said before in the past, there's a little star up here in the top that kind of shows that you've got unsaved changes in your project. So we're going to continue and make some more changes. So now that we've created a block, we don't need this whole little middle portion anymore because we've already got that in a block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the switch, and I'm going to press on the delete button. Now that got rid of it. Okay. So now we've got this loop. Actually, let me just see if I can resize this loop a little bit. Just resize the loop to make it more natural of a size. Make sure it's connected to the start. Kind of clean it up a little bit. Just drag the start so that it's there. Now what we want to do is we want to put our block in here because we want this loop. I'm going to select this entire loop here, and I'm just going to move it up a little bit to make room for another one. We're going to add another one here later. So, okay, now I've moved this all around. Now what I want to do is I don't want to import, but I want to copy a block from here by clicking on the My Blocks down below in the control pane. Select with the left button and just kind of drop it right there. Okay, so now what we have here is now we have the chute block. So I haven't really changed anything. I've just turned it into a block so that instead of having all the code here, I can just now kind of call it as a function. Okay, or as a block. Technically, they're called blocks. Now, there's one thing I want to quickly show you how to improve and make this readable. You can actually give a label on the loop. See how this is called loop 1, loop 1, loop 1? What you really want to do is what you don't really want to do necessarily, but what I like to do is I like to give it a meaningful name. So I've just double-clicked on that, on the loop identifier, which was 01, and I'm just going to type in here now, we're going to call this loop control movement. Okay, let's call that loop control movement. That's a little bit too big, so let's see how much we can fit in here. Backspacing just to control movement. Okay, let's just call it control movement. Now this is the chute, so let's double click on there. Okay, control shooting. Okay, now this one is the set the sound. Now this is the set sound. Okay, so now you can see we've got like kind of a description on what each of these does. Might as well quickly show you another little trick. You can actually add comments. So up here in the control panel, up on the top right, click on the comment, and you can see it adds a comment window here. So what you can do is drag it over, kind of resize it a little bit, and then say this loop controls the movement from channel 1 on the remote. Okay, now what I can do is I can highlight that, do a control C, click somewhere else, do a control V. That's going to copy it. Now I can say this loop controls the shooting from channel 2 on the remote, and maybe make one more comment box. Control C, click over here somewhere, control V, grab this, drag it over, drop it somewhere near, and say this loop controls the sound level from channel 3 on the remote. Okay, so we've got our comment boxes. Now we know what that means. I'm just going to do a save project. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to add another loop, and that loop is going to, as you saw, it's going to allow instructions to be read when the
person operating the robot pushes on the touch sensor. So now what we have to do is we have to drop another control loop up here. We're going to drop, a control block, and this is the play. So this means that this is running, this is running, this is running, and a fourth one will all be running at the same time on the robot, which is kind of a cool thing. So you can actually set the robot to run concurrent programs, which is excellent. So what we want to do is we want to drop a loop down here because we want this to loop continuously, just like the others are looping. And as this loops continuously, we're going to want it to do something. So now what I want to do is I'm actually going to create another block. And that block is going to be called the instruction block, okay? So go up here to create a new program. And we're going to actually start our program in here, but then we're going to turn it into a block again, just like I showed you before. So what we want to do in here is we want to actually have a switch that reads whether or not somebody touches on the touch sensor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the switch. I'm going to drop it up here, okay? Now I'm going to move my mouse a little bit so you can see. Now, the way that a switch works is, we've done this before, is that the switch is kind of a logic statement. It's going to do one thing or the other, but actually the switch does have different settings. But on the touch sensor, basically you're going to have a true case and a false case, and that's what a switch is. It's a set of cases. Again, there's multiple types of cases. If you click on here, you can see you have cases on all the different controls, all the different sensors, There's even timer, etc., but we're not going to go into that right now. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to measure and do something when the touch sensor is pushed, okay? And that's exactly what we have here. State 1 means that when you push down on the button, state 1 says when you push down on the button, this is going to be positive. So when nothing is pushed, it goes to the negative. So what we really want to do is we want to have nothing happen when the touch sensor is never touched or pushed. So therefore, when we take this block and we plop it back in our loop, as this is being executed, unless the touch sensor is pressed, it's going to go to the X, which is the negative state, and nothing's going to happen. So we want to put something in the positive state. So when the user presses on the button and the touch sensor, something will happen. Now, what we want to do up here is we actually wanted to give some instructions. So the instructions are I'm going to just drop in the blocks, and then we'll create the sound files in a second. So what we want to do is we want to go back, and now when the user pushes something, we want the robot to start to talk. So we're going to grab the sound block, and we're going to drop one here, okay? Actually, we're going to drop 3 because we need one instruction for each channel, okay? There's 2 and a third. So now what we want to do is we want to quickly create these sound files, okay? So again, I've shown you this before, but we're going to go up to the sound editor, and we're going to record the different files. I'm going to try and go through this quick. So the first one we want to do is say something for channel 1. And if you remember, channel 1 controls movement. So I'm going to record. Channel 1 controls movement. And you click on stop when you're done. Now you highlight the area that your sound file is, and you click play just to check it. Channel 1 controls movement. Okay, so that sounds good. So now we're going to save that into our project, and we're going to say channel 1 INST, channel 1 instruction, okay? Now we're going to go in channel 2. Channel 2 control shooting. Okay, select our area. Channel 2 control shooting. There you go. Save that. Channel 2 instruction. Okay. Save that. Now we'll do channel 3. Channel 3 controls the volume. Okay. Whoops. Select our area. Channel 3 controls the volume. There you go. We'll save that as channel 3 instruction, okay? Now, close that. We've got our 3 files saved. So now up here we want to say channel 1, okay? Channel 1 controls movement. This one will be channel 2. Channel 2 controls shooting. Now this one's channel 3. As you can see, the sound files were automatically added to our project. Okay?
Channel 3 controls the volume.
Now, there's a little bit of a catch here. When you start to use a bunch of sound files that are all kind of butted together, you're going to realize that it's just going to flow right into the other, one right into the other. There's not going to be any pause, and it's not going to sound natural. So what we want to do is we want to actually introduce a weight block in between each sound file. So go down to the bottom and grab the in the flow control blocks, grab the weight and kind of put it between. And what we want to do is waiting a second is fine. You can set this a little bit quicker, but it's not going to be a big deal. So basically, what's going to happen is it's going to say the first file name, and this is important too. You have to make sure it's set to 0, which is wait for completion, because you want this thing to talk, stop, wait a minute, wait a second, then say the second instruction, and then etc. So that actually is all that's needed in this block. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete the play, okay, just to get rid of it, because as you remember, we can't have a play in a block. So I'm going to select the whole thing here, make sure it's selected, and what we're going to do is we're going to go up to My Block Builder, and again, it's going to create a block out of this, and we're going to call this instruction block, okay? Let me just move the mouse, instruction block, okay? And this gives the instructions when the operator touches the touch sensor, okay? Technically presses, okay? Presses the touch sensor. And what we can do is, again, we can give this kind of a icon. I think what I'm going to do is make this a speaker, because this is kind of like instructions. It comes out of the speaker, so that's good enough. Again, that turned into a block. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go back to my properties, and I'm going to delete that just to clean everything up. Go back to my IR with shoot. Now, actually, what I want to do is I've kind of given it some thought. I'm going to change the IR with shoot to be my robot, okay? Main. So what's going to happen is that's the one that you're going to run from now on. IR with shoot is kind of expanded into all the other things now. So let's just call it my robot main. Now, the other thing too is I probably want to grab this comment box, and I'm just going to copy it down here, and I'm going to give this loop control. This loop controls the instructions. Get rid of that. When the operator presses the touch sensor. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give this loop a name too. So we're going to call it instructions. Okay. Okay. So obviously there's nothing happening here. We need to put our block in here. So go down to the My Blocks and select the instruction block and drop it up in here. Okay. Now there's a bit of a catch here. Actually, I'm just going to move this comment out a little bit because we want to add something else to this. First of all, right now it's just looping infinitely. So this is being this is going to run inside here, and if you double click on here, you'll see that it will run in here. But what will happen is it won't execute anything unless the touch sensor is pressed. Otherwise, it'll just go to the negative state. Okay, I'm going to close the instruction block. We don't really need that anymore. But what is needed now in the program, though, is that when we start up, it needs to tell the user that if they push on the touch sensor, they're going to get some instructions. So what we want to do is we can add that really to the beginning of any loop, one of these loops, but really we kind of want to put it in here because it kind of belongs here. So don't forget, all 4 of these are going to be run at the same time. So really you can put your kind of code anywhere, but you should probably put the blocks, where they belong, which is with the instructions. So I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. So here we're going to want to drop a sound file here and just run it right here. And again, but the thing is now we won't really need to have a pause. I've kind of told you before that you have pauses between sound files, but on this one we're just going to basically just let it say the instruction, and then we're going to go directly into the loop. So what we want to do here, we want to tell the operator that if they push on the touch sensor, they're going to be able to hear instructions. But you know, there's one other thing I just remembered in the demo. What it did was it actually said a little welcome. So I'm going to actually drop a second sound file up here because I'm going to create two. Now, one of the reasons why I'm creating two is because you can't actually really record too long of a message, so, or you know, of a sound file. So I kind of break them up into small little 5 or second ones, 5 or second, you know, long files. So what we're going to do is put another wait block between these two, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to record two more files. We're going to record one that says, hey, welcome to, you know, I'm the EV3RSTORM, and then another one says, push on the touch sensor to get instructions. So let's go back up to our sound editor, and let's record the welcome. Welcome to EV3RSTORM. Okay. See how that sounds.
Welcome to EV3RSTORM.
Sounds good. Like I said in the demo, you can try and find a synthesizer where maybe you can, excuse me, have your voice converted more to a robotic sound, or you can record it in a goofy way. I'm just doing it, like I said, in a way that you're going to be able to understand. So I'm going to save that as the welcome. Okay. Say okay. Now we need another recording that's going to say push on the touch sensor for instructions. So hit record. Push on the touch sensor for instructions. Okay, let's see how that sounds. Hit play.
Push on the touch sensor for instructions.
Let's hear that again.
Push on the touch sensor for instructions.
Yeah, anyways, it doesn't sound great, but let's record that again. Push on the touch sensor for instructions.
Push on the touch sensor for instructions.
That one was very deliberate, but you kind of get it. Let's just go and save that as push touch instructions. Okay, say okay, close that. Now we want to go and select our file here. This is going to say welcome. Where's welcome? There's
welcome to EV3RSTORM.
Okay, now this one's going to say push
on the touch sensor for instructions.
Okay, so what I'm going to do in the background now, I'm going to start up my EV3RSTORM. He's connected but not turned on, so I'm just going to turn that on, and I'm going to save this project. And the other thing is that I actually have a set of instructions to myself to make sure I didn't miss a step, so let me just check to make sure. I'm just going to talk out loud a little bit. So we've created the new shoot block that is up here. Okay, that's one of the things we did in this lesson. And then I showed you how to kind of clean up your projects a little bit. As you can see, there's not a lot of program sitting in here, which is nice. But under the My Blocks, we now are starting to build up our blocks, which is excellent. So if we go and we change the name of this file to My Robot Main, okay. I showed you how to add loop kind of descriptions. I showed you how to add comments. As a matter of fact, you know, these comments can go anywhere in your code, and they are excellent, so that when you come back some future time, you can see what you've done. We've created an instruction block, and we created the loop that goes around the instructions. So what I want to do is I want to download this, and just to make sure that I haven't missed anything, so I'm going to now just I'm going to show you this again. I'm going to go to my memory, and I'm going to delete this project. This is the one that I do for myself to practice this. Sorry, the one that I just deleted is the one that I do anyways. And as I've explained before, these ones you can't really change. So just close that, and now we're going to download this program. Okay, and now what we're going to do is now we're going to download. Now that it's on that, now that's been copied to the robot. That's going to be on the robot, you know, until you delete it. And what I want to do now is I'm just going to click on this one, which is download and run. Okay. Okay, so now he started up. I hope you can hear that. I'm just gonna, you're not gonna be able to see this on the screen, but I just want to make sure. So I've got it in channel 1. I'm going to try and go forward. Okay, backwards. I'm going to push on the touch sensor to hear the instructions. Okay, there you go. So that worked. Now I'm going to switch to channel 2 and try and shoot. Shooting up. Go to channel 3. Set the volume up. Whoops. Wait. Channel 3. Okay, go back to channel 2. Shoot down. Channel 1. Come forward. Come back. So looks like everything's working pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to touch sensor again. And as I explained before, you can move around while he's talking. The one thing I noticed that you can't do is while he's talking is shoot. And that is probably because he's waiting to finish what he's saying. I'll look into that a little bit later to see if you can shoot at the same time he's talking, but I don't see how that's all that important. I just want to make sure that I'm not misleading you in the demo. But I believe that he probably won't be able to shoot at the same time he's talking. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. This is lesson 7. Now we've got 4 continuous blocks running at the same. Sorry, we've got 4 concurrent blocks running. They run, obviously concurrent means they run at the same time. And again, the reason that I do the download and play is because I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. You can see on the screen, I've told you this before, how you can see on the screen that each of these blocks are kind of flickering a little bit because the code in them is all being executed. So that's kind of cool. And now I've showed you how to basically do a little welcome at the beginning, and that's something that I kind of usually like to do when I start up a program. Is it says welcome, but again, if you want to fool around, try and figure out how to get your voice to come out a little bit more robotic. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye bye.